Alex Gleitman here with the Bucknuts one-on-one, our latest edition with athlete, running back, linebacker Jerome Baker out of Cleveland Benedictine High School. Jerome, thanks for coming on the show today.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. So how are things going for you? I'm sure it's been a busy spring at this point and winter, but why don't you tell us where you're at in terms of height and weight?
Right now, I'm 6'1", 209, and hopefully I can gain a few more pounds starting this season, but that's where I'm at now.
That's pretty good size. And have you run the 40-yard dash recently?
No, I haven't.
Cool. So, I mean, obviously you guys had a nice season last year. You're currently in workouts for next season. Tell us a little bit about what you have been doing as an individual and what the team's been doing to get ready for the summer and then eventually next fall.
I was first on the team. We've been working out pretty much every day except for Wednesday and the weekend. Me as an individual, just working a little bit extra after workouts, but pretty much our whole team is working together, and I'm getting them better, and they definitely get me better.
Definitely, and Alex Gleitman here, Bucknuts one-on-one with Jerome Baker. Jerome, I know you were kind of on the road a little bit this spring with recruiting. I know you took a trip down south recently to Florida and Tennessee. Tell us a little bit first, I guess, about the Tennessee visit. How did that go?
It was the first time I've been down south, so pretty much everything was amazing to me. The weather, the people, the food, it was just a great experience going down. In Tennessee, it was big. It was definitely big. Everything was new. The coaching staff was welcoming. It was just amazing going down.
Absolutely. And how about Florida? I mean, obviously that's a little bit further south, probably a little bit hotter down there. Coach Muschamp and his program welcomed you. Tell us a little bit about that trip and how that differentiated from the Tennessee trip a little.
It was pretty good. They had nice weather, nice people. It was a little different because it was around Easter, so there wasn't that many people there. So I spent a lot of time with the coaches, and it was the one point when we watched film, and that was pretty much it was a great selling point, I would say, because I actually got to watch where exactly I'm going to play at, and just doing that, it really surprised me a lot.
Yeah, and we saw you live last year at Friday Night Lights in Columbus, and you look pretty good. I mean, you could play both running back and linebacker at the next level. What position are Tennessee and Florida recruiting you for?
They're recruiting both for linebacker. And
is linebacker kind of your preferred position at this point, or do you not have a preference? Is running back maybe where you want to play?
Probably I have to say linebacker.
Cool. Well, I mean, either way, you can't go wrong. It seems like you'd be a tremendous talent for anyone to get. I know coming out of that visit, you kind of mentioned that both the Gators and Tennessee, along with Ohio State, were kind of three schools sticking out on your list at this point. Is that still the case?
Yes, they are.
So those three are kind of your top three right now. Are there any other schools in the mix?
Yes, I actually am coming out with the list soon, the top 8. So those three are definitely on that list.
So still some other schools on that list. We won't make you reveal who those schools are. We'll let you have your moment. Are you going to be doing that on Twitter?
Yes, I am.
Cool. So we'll be looking forward to that. But talking a little bit now about the home state school, Ohio State. I know the Buckeyes have been kind of one of your favorites for a while. You've taken a couple of visits down there. Tell us the latest. What's been going on with Ohio State? Who have you been talking to there? Has anyone visited you? When may be the next time you're going to get on campus?
I usually talk to Coach Meyer. I pretty much call him pretty much every week. As far as my visit, the next visit down there, it's most likely going to be in June. Hopefully I get a chance to go to the Nike camp in Columbus, so probably going to make the trip there. They have said they're going to visit my school. When the time they were going to visit, we was on spring break, so they couldn't continue anything.
Got it. So I think it's Coach Drayton recruits your area. Is he the position coach recruiting you, or is it Coach Fickle?
It's Coach Drayton, yes.
Coach Drayton. So Ohio State, I know at one point maybe they were looking to you a little bit at running back, but recently I heard they're kind of selling linebacker to you. Have they said one thing or another in terms of position?
They pretty much are letting me decide. But me leaning more towards linebacker, I probably would have to say linebacker. So that's what they recruit me at. But they really want me to decide, and right now I want to play linebacker.
Right, and I mean, Ohio State definitely needs both linebackers and running backs, so you seem to be a good fit there in terms of filling a need for them. Again, this is Bucknuts One-on-One, Alex Gleitman with Jerome Baker. And Jerome, you mentioned you talk to Coach Meyer every week. Obviously, I would guess you have a pretty strong relationship with him. Tell us a little bit about what he's been telling you as far as trying to get you to, like, what's been his sales pitch? What has he been saying to try to get you to be a Buckeye?
This is the home school. I mean, it's always been a dream to play for Ohio State when we were little, so why not do it now? And just basically join the family, and he's doing a great job doing that. So,
right. So you grew up a fan of Ohio State, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, obviously you kind of have to take away the emotional part of things and try to make the best business decision for you. But how hard is that for you to grow up rooting for a team? I know your dad's a fan of the Buckeyes. You're from Cleveland. It's a state school. A lot of guys from your area do go to Columbus. What is that like for you to try to have to separate the business side of things from the emotional side of things?
It is very hard, especially on the trips down there with my family most of the time. Just seeing their reaction and how happy they are when we're down there, you really have to really separate it, and it's very hard because you just seeing your family happy and you're happy. It's very hard.
Yeah, I can only imagine, but, I mean, you do have some great choices, so you have to make the best decision for you at the end of the day. One more thing on Ohio State before we kind of move on. Let's talk, I mean, you've been there a bunch of times. What stands out to you about the Buckeyes? What do you like most about the program outside of being a fan of it that you've seen and you've come to learn on all of your visits and your interactions with them?
I would probably say the atmosphere, the family atmosphere they have. Pretty much every school has great facilities and everything, but the family atmosphere they have, the coaches, player relationship, it's like no other. Being there, you can really tell, and talking to players, they definitely tell you. So that's probably one thing that really sticks out when I go there every time.
Certainly, and again, Bucknuts One-on-One, Alex Gleitman, Jerome Baker. Jerome, tell us a little bit, do you have any other plans? You mentioned going to Columbus. I think it's that May 31st, June 1st weekend for the NFTC. But outside of that, do you have any plans to make any more visits this spring or summer?
No, not to any schools. It's a few camps I'm most likely going to try and get to, but no schools.
So no schools at this time. I'm sure as things progress, that could change, and we'll definitely keep all you Bucknuts readers in the loop on that. But, Jerome, how about in terms of a decision timeline? What are you thinking now in terms of when you'd like to make a decision? Are you going to take official visits, anything like that?
As far as official visits, yes, I'm going to take all 5. As far as the decision, it's most likely going to be right after those 5, so that'd be after the football season. But as far as the recruiting right now, I'm going to release the top 8 or so, and that's where I'm at now.
So you're going to release the top 8, then try to get it down to 5 at some point maybe this summer, and then decide on your official visits, take those in the fall, and then make a decision shortly after that. Is that correct?
Yes.
That sounds like a good plan. And as far as that decision, what are going to be the key factors you're looking at when you make that final decision?
It always been 3 things, the academic part of the whole school, the tradition, and the atmosphere when I'm there. So those are 3 I'm always looking at.
That's great. Definitely important factors in making that college decision. And I guess kind of going back to you as a player real quick, what do you think, let's give the fans a little bit about, what do you think is maybe one thing or a couple of things you do well as a linebacker and then as a running back, and then what are a couple of things that you think you need to improve on?
Things I do well at linebacker, my instincts and my speed. Those 2 really help me a lot. I might feel like I'm out of position one time, and my speed just takes over, and I'm right there. And my instincts, I have a feel where the ball's going to end up at, and I make the play. So that's probably where my strength's at on linebacker. As far as running back, I have like a nice blend of size, speed, and power. So that's pretty much all you really need, and I have all of that together. So that's one thing I really have. As far as I need to work on, at running back, definitely my team always tell me my quickness. That's really one thing I've been working on this offseason, my quickness. I've just been working on those few steps. At linebacker, getting off blocks. That's one thing my coach always stressed. And you can really tell watching on film. I really want to get in off blocks a little bit easier for me.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I want to work on.
Yeah, I'm sure once you start getting bigger, faster, and stronger, just as you're working out and you're getting older and more mature, that those things will kind of come a little bit easier to you. And just stepping outside of football for a second, just a couple more questions here. Bucknuts 101, Alex Gleitman with Jerome Baker. Jerome, what do you like to do off the field, I guess? Are there any other sports you play? Is there any hobbies you have? Tell the fans a little bit about Jerome Baker, the not-football player.
I like hanging out with my friends, especially my teammates, just talking football. One thing that people they really don't notice, I always have Skittles with me. That's one thing I really love, is Skittles, and so most of the time you can see me with Skittles.
So you and Marshawn Lynch have a lot in common, I guess, then.
Yes, definitely.
Hopefully you make it as big as Marshawn one day. And last question for you here, Jerome. We know one of your teammates, Justin Lane, is a big-time wide receiver in the class of 2016. I think you two took a visit to Ohio State a couple months ago together. Tell us a little bit about Justin. What type of player is he? Do you think he's the type of player that's going to, kind of get the attention that you are getting right now in recruiting? And what did he kind of think of Ohio State?
Justin he's a great player. He's a great guy. He really deserves everything he's getting. He works hard. He's very humble. He deserves everything.
It seems like you guys are pretty close, right?
Yes, we are.
So what would it be like to have the opportunity to play together in college?
We talked about it. That would be pretty amazing. Any visits I go on, he always called me and asked me how it was, and just pretty much the little details, and I always tell him. But he's a great guy.
Yeah, well, Buckeye fans are certainly hoping the two of you end up in Columbus one day. But, Jerome, we want to thank you for coming on the show today. We want to wish you the best of luck in your decision coming forward, whether that be Ohio State, Florida, Tennessee, or one of the other programs that make your top 8. We'll certainly be looking out for that, and be sure to follow the rest of your recruitment at 24/7 Sports and Bucknuts. Thanks for coming on again.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.